In the 5th century BC, Athens, the capital of Greece, became the birthplace of democracy. This innovative form of government allowed all citizens to participate in decision-making, regardless of their social status. Interestingly, Athens was one of the first known democracies in the world, setting a precedent for future democratic systems. The concept of democracy in Athens was not only a political system but also a way of life, where citizens actively engaged in public affairs and debates. This active participation was a fundamental aspect of Athenian democracy, with around 40,000 to 60,000 citizens eligible to vote in the assembly. This number represented a significant portion of the population at that time. The democratic process in Athens was based on direct participation, where citizens gathered in the assembly to discuss and vote on various issues, including laws, policies, and even military matters. It is fascinating to note that the Athenian democracy also included mechanisms for accountability and oversight, such as ostracism, where citizens could vote to banish a prominent figure from the city for 10 years. This demonstrated a level of citizen empowerment and control over their leaders that was revolutionary for its time. The historical background of democracy in Athens highlights the progressive and inclusive nature of the system, emphasizing the importance of citizen involvement and civic responsibility. These early democratic principles laid the foundation for modern democratic systems, shaping the way we understand and practice democracy today. Athenian democracy was characterized by several key features that set it apart from other forms of government in ancient times. One of the most notable aspects was the direct participation of citizens in decision-making processes. Unlike representative democracies today, where citizens elect officials to make decisions on their behalf, Athenian democracy allowed all eligible citizens to directly participate in the assembly. This level of direct democracy was unprecedented and reflected the importance placed on individual civic engagement in Athenian society. Another key feature of Athenian democracy was the concept of isonomia, or equality before the law. All citizens, regardless of social status or wealth, had equal rights and opportunities to participate in the democratic process, ensuring a level playing field for political engagement. The Athenian democratic system also included mechanisms for accountability and transparency. For example, public officials were subject to regular scrutiny and could be held accountable for their actions through processes like ostracism. This helped prevent corruption and abuse of power, reinforcing the idea of government by and for the people. In terms of numbers, the Athenian democracy was open to a significant portion of the population. With an estimated 40,000 to 60,000 eligible citizens, the assembly represented a substantial segment of society actively participating in decision-making. This high level of citizen involvement was a defining characteristic of Athenian democracy and contributed to the vibrancy and dynamism of the political system. Moreover, the Athenian democratic system was not limited to political matters, but extended to various aspects of public life. Citizens had the opportunity to engage in debates on a wide range of issues, from foreign policy to social welfare, shaping the policies and laws that governed their city-state. This broad scope of democratic participation fostered a sense of civic duty and responsibility among Athenian citizens, reinforcing the idea that democracy was not just a political system, but a way of life. Another interesting feature of Athenian democracy was the use of sortition, or random selection, for certain government positions. Instead of relying solely on elections, Athenians randomly selected individuals to serve on juries or hold key administrative roles. This practice helped prevent the concentration of power in the hands of a few elites and promoted inclusivity and diversity in governance. Overall, the key features of Athenian democracy, including direct citizen participation, equality before the law, accountability mechanisms, and random selection, contributed to a system that was progressive, inclusive, and ahead of its time. The development of democracy in Athens over time was marked by significant changes and innovations that shaped the political landscape of the city-state. One interesting aspect of this development was the evolution of the Athenian assembly, which played a central role in the democratic process. Initially, the assembly met on the Nix, an open-air meeting place on a hill overlooking Athens. However, as the population grew and democracy expanded, the assembly moved to the larger theater of Dionysus, accommodating the increasing number of citizens participating in debates and voting on important issues. The move to the theater of Dionysus reflected the democratic ideals of inclusivity and accessibility, allowing more citizens to engage in the political process. Another fascinating development was the rise of prominent statesmen and orators who influenced the course of Athenian democracy. Figures like Pericles, known for his powerful speeches and leadership, played a crucial role in shaping the direction of Athenian politics and governance. Pericles' influence extended beyond his own time, leaving a lasting impact on the development of democratic principles in Athens. In terms of numbers, the Athenian democracy saw a gradual increase in the number of citizens eligible to participate in the assembly. At its peak, the assembly could attract thousands of citizens, creating a vibrant forum for debate and decision-making. This growth in citizen participation reflected the expanding scope of Athenian democracy and the increasing importance of public engagement in political affairs. Overall, the development of democracy in Athens over time was characterized by dynamic changes in institutions, practices, and civic engagement, laying the groundwork for the evolution of democratic principles in the ancient world. The influence of Athenian democracy on modern democratic systems is profound and far-reaching, shaping the principles and practices of governance around the world. One interesting aspect of this influence is the concept of direct citizen participation, which was a hallmark of Athenian democracy. In modern democracies, such as Switzerland, citizens have the opportunity to participate directly in decision-making through processes like referendums and initiatives. This echoes the Athenian model of direct democracy, where citizens gathered in the assembly to debate and vote on laws and policies. The emphasis on citizen engagement in Athenian democracy has inspired modern democracies to prioritize grassroots involvement and civic participation. Another intriguing influence of Athenian democracy is the idea of equality before the law. In Athens, all citizens, regardless of their social status, had equal rights and opportunities to participate in the democratic process. This principle of equality has been enshrined in modern democratic systems through the establishment of constitutions and legal frameworks that protect the rights of all individuals. The concept of isonomia, or equality before the law, continues to be a fundamental tenet of democracy today, ensuring that all citizens are treated fairly and justly under the law. Moreover, the practice of public accountability in Athenian democracy has left a lasting impact on modern democratic systems. Athenian citizens had the power to hold public officials accountable for their actions through mechanisms like ostracism. This tradition of accountability has been carried forward into contemporary democracies through mechanisms such as impeachment and recall elections, which allow citizens to remove officials who have violated the public trust. The emphasis on transparency and oversight in Athenian democracy has influenced modern democratic systems to prioritize ethical governance and integrity in public office. In terms of numbers, the influence of Athenian democracy on modern systems can be seen in the widespread adoption of democratic principles across the globe. According to the Democracy Index, a global ranking of democracies, more than half of the countries in the world are classified as democracies. This statistic highlights the enduring legacy of Athenian democracy and its impact on shaping the political landscape of the modern world. The prevalence of democratic systems today reflects the enduring appeal of the Athenian model of governance, emphasizing the importance of citizen participation, equality, and accountability in shaping a just and inclusive society. A comparison between Athenian democracy and modern democracies reveals intriguing similarities and differences that shed light on the evolution of democratic governance over time. One interesting aspect is the size of the citizen body eligible to participate in the democratic process. In Athens, an estimated 40,000 to 60,000 citizens could engage in the assembly, representing a significant portion of the population. This high level of direct participation was a defining feature of Athenian democracy, emphasizing the importance of citizen engagement in decision-making. In contrast, modern democracies often have much larger populations, with millions of eligible voters participating in elections and other democratic processes. This difference in scale highlights the challenge of maintaining direct citizen involvement in governance in larger, more complex societies. Another notable difference between Athenian democracy and modern democracies is the role of women in the political process. In Athens, women were excluded from citizenship and therefore could not participate in the assembly or hold political office. This gender disparity was a significant limitation of Athenian democracy, reflecting the patriarchal norms of ancient Greek society. In contrast, modern democracies have made strides towards gender equality, with women participating as voters, elected officials, and leaders in various capacities. The inclusion of women in modern democratic systems represents a positive evolution towards greater gender representation and equality in governance. Additionally, the Athenian democratic system relied heavily on direct democracy, where citizens gathered in person to debate and vote on issues. This face-to-face interaction fostered a sense of community and civic engagement among Athenian citizens, creating a vibrant political culture. In contrast, modern democracies often utilize representative democracy, where citizens elect officials to make decisions on their behalf. While representative democracy allows for broader participation and representation, it may also lead to a sense of disconnect between citizens and their elected representatives. However, advancements in technology have enabled modern democracies to incorporate elements of direct democracy, such as online voting and participatory platforms, to enhance citizen engagement and decision-making. Overall, the comparison between Athenian democracy and modern democracies showcases the enduring legacy of ancient democratic principles while highlighting the adaptations and innovations that have shaped contemporary governance systems. By examining the similarities and differences between these two models, we gain a deeper understanding of the evolution of democracy and the ongoing quest for inclusive and effective forms of governance. One of the challenges faced by Athenian democracy was the exclusion of certain groups from political participation. While Athenian citizens had the right to engage in the democratic process, women, slaves, and foreigners were excluded from citizenship and therefore unable to vote or hold office. This limitation of citizenship rights created a significant divide within Athenian society, restricting political representation and decision-making to a select group of privileged individuals. Interestingly, only male citizens over the age of 20 were considered eligible to participate in the assembly, excluding a substantial portion of the population from engaging in political affairs. This exclusionary aspect of Athenian democracy posed a fundamental challenge to the system's inclusivity and legitimacy. Another intriguing challenge was the issue of factionalism and internal divisions within Athenian society. The democratic process in Athens was characterized by intense debates, disagreements, and rivalries among citizens, leading to political polarization and factional conflicts. These divisions often hindered the ability of the assembly to reach consensus on important issues, creating obstacles to effective governance and decision-making. Moreover, the reliance on direct democracy in Athens presented logistical challenges in terms of organizing and conducting assembly meetings. With thousands of citizens eligible to participate, coordinating debates and votes in an efficient and orderly manner proved to be a daunting task. The sheer size of the citizen body and the diverse range of opinions and interests represented in the assembly added complexity to the democratic process. Despite these challenges, Athenian democracy persevered and thrived for centuries, demonstrating the resilience and adaptability of the system in the face of internal and external pressures. The legacy of Athenian democracy continues to resonate in the modern world, influencing the principles and practices of governance across diverse societies. One interesting aspect of this legacy is the concept of citizen participation, which remains a central tenet of democratic systems today. In Athens, citizens actively engaged in public affairs, debating and voting on laws and policies that shaped their city-state. This emphasis on direct citizen involvement has left a lasting impact on modern democracies, inspiring mechanisms for grassroots engagement such as town hall meetings, citizen assemblies, and online platforms for public consultation. These avenues for citizen participation reflect the enduring legacy of Athenian democracy in fostering a sense of civic responsibility and empowerment among the populace. Another fascinating aspect of Athenian democracy's legacy is the enduring appeal of democratic ideals such as equality, accountability, and transparency. The Athenian model of governance, with its emphasis on equality before the law and mechanisms for public oversight, has influenced modern democratic systems to prioritize fairness, integrity, and ethical governance. This legacy is reflected in modern constitutions, legal frameworks, and institutions that uphold democratic principles and protect the rights of citizens. Additionally, the legacy of Athenian democracy can be seen in the global spread of democratic governance. According to the Varieties of Democracy Project, as of 2021, there are 114 democracies in the world, representing approximately 59% of all countries. This statistic underscores the enduring legacy of Athenian democracy in shaping the political landscape of the modern world, highlighting the universal appeal of democratic ideals and the ongoing quest for inclusive and participatory forms of governance. One of the critiques of Athenian democracy was its limitations in terms of inclusivity and representation. While Athenian citizens had the right to participate in the democratic process, certain groups, such as women, slaves, and foreigners, were excluded from citizenship and therefore unable to engage in political affairs. This exclusionary aspect of Athenian democracy raised questions about the system's fairness and legitimacy, highlighting the challenges of ensuring equal rights and opportunities for all members of society. Additionally, the reliance on direct democracy in Athens posed practical challenges in terms of decision-making and governance. With a large citizen body eligible to participate in the assembly, coordinating debates and votes became increasingly complex, leading to logistical issues and inefficiencies in the democratic process. Interestingly, despite these critiques, Athenian democracy persisted for centuries, demonstrating a remarkable resilience in the face of internal and external challenges. The evolution of democratic principles from Athens to modern times has seen significant advancements and adaptations. In Athens, direct democracy was prevalent, with citizens participating in the assembly to debate and vote on issues. Fast forward to modern times, representative democracy has become more common, where citizens elect officials to make decisions on their behalf. Interestingly, according to the Democracy Index, there are currently 114 democracies in the world, representing around 59% of all countries. This global spread of democratic governance underscores the enduring appeal of democratic ideals. Furthermore, the evolution of democratic principles has led to innovations such as online voting and participatory platforms, enhancing citizen engagement and decision-making. The transition from direct to representative democracy, along with technological advancements, reflects the dynamic evolution of democratic systems over time. Studying Athenian democracy provides valuable insights into the origins of democratic governance and the evolution of political systems. The Athenian Assembly, with an estimated 40,000 to 60,000 eligible citizens, showcased a unique model of direct citizen participation. This high level of engagement in public affairs laid the foundation for modern democratic principles of inclusivity and civic responsibility. Interestingly, the legacy of Athenian democracy can be seen in the global prevalence of democratic systems, with over half of the countries in the world classified as democracies. By studying Athenian democracy, we gain a deeper understanding of the enduring importance of citizen engagement, equality before the law, and transparency in shaping just and inclusive societies.